My name is Angela.
My name is Nicole.
And welcome to the Ominous Stitch podcast. Hello, Stitchers.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the 50th episode.
Woo, woo.
This is 1 year of us doing this. 1 year of you guys having to put up with with all of our crazy little antics.
Put up with us.
No, hopefully enjoying us.
Yeah.
And becoming feeling like you guys are our buds now, because we feel like you guys are our buds.
Yeah, this is fun.
This is fun. We are enjoying it. We are not stopping. We are celebrating. Send in the clowns. I knew she was going to do this to me. I knew she was going to make a clown episode. So be prepared. Be prepared for me to be freaking out the entire episode. I know it's going to happen.
It's like my goal in life when I do this podcast to see how much I can scare Angela.
I know. I know. I am ready. I have coffee in hand. I've been dreading, but also excited for this episode.
Okay, good. If you've stayed with us this whole time, thank you so much.
Yay.
Kudos. I'm so happy to have you all here.
Yes, we are. We're very happy. And speaking of happy to have, we have a new patron.
Woot woot.
So this patron comes to us. I can tell you all about this patron. I've known him my entire life.
Your entire life?
Yes, my entire life. Is my dad.
Yay, Daddy.
Hello, Mike Rasmussen. You're getting a shout out.
Thank you so much for joining our patrons.
We have 3 now. Look at us go.
It's growing.
It's very exciting. Thank you, Dad, for being a patron. We got him with the Stargate and portals, and I knew we were going to.
Good job.
One,
yeah.
So. No, good job to you. That was your research.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Well, good on us. So.
Yes, good on us.
Thank you so much for supporting us.
Thank you for another patron. We're very excited, and I'll be sending you stuff. Really, you didn't have to become a patron for me to send you stuff, Dad, but thank you for that. We're very happy that you're supporting us.
That's sweet.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And we're glad that you listen.
Thank you.
And I know you're getting my sister to listen, because I talked to my sister Heather today.
Oh,
hi, Heather.
Really? Not Becca?
Not Becca already listens.
I know.
Yeah,
Thank you, Becca.
My sister Becca already listens. But Heather has started to listen. She's like, okay, you're funny. So
that
hi,
sibling.
Heather.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
it's
awesome.
fun. So we're excited to have another patron. So now we have 3. We have lovely Miss Kate, lovely Miss Brittany, and now my dear old dad, Mike.
Oh, we're happy to have you all.
Yes, we are. If anybody else wants to become a patron, you can hop over to our podbean.com. There's a little button in the upper right corner that says become a patron. You can click on that, and it will take you through all the steps to help support our lovely little podcast so that we can have another year celebration.
That'd be
and
great.
Watch me freak out to clowns next year again.
Or something else that's spooky.
Or something else. I'm sure there will be something else that's going to scare me.
Always.
So, Miss Nicole, what has you in stitches?
No, I'm just so happy to we reached 50.
I know.
This is insane.
I'm 50. I can kick and stretch. I'm 50.
But we reached 10,000 downloads.
I know. That's another huge milestone.
Yes, 10,000 downloads, 50th episode. This is so cool. It's
Look
surreal.
at us doing a thing.
We did a thing. We didn't give up. We're gonna keep going as long as we can, because this is so much fun. So
yes.
I'm so happy.
I'm so happy. You're so happy.
I'm so happy.
Just as long as we stay happy.
And morbid.
And morbid. All of the things. We are all of the things.
We are.
Oh,
But
goodness.
yeah, is that your stitch, or what has you in stitches?
Well, my oldest child, my daughter,
the big
is
one.
growing up. She graduated elementary school, going into junior high, which is a whole big thing.
Oh, man.
And we've started, letting her have some more independence, which is always a scary thing. She is off with my sister Becca, who we've mentioned a lot on this, and she's
visiting.
Yes, my sister
great.
Becca's in
Aw,
town.
hi, Becca.
She came in town specifically to take my daughter to work with her, because it's take your child to work day today.
Oh, she borrowed your child.
She borrowed my child, and they are in LA,
Ooh,
at the LA
downtown
office.
LA.
Yeah, and so she's been having this big LA adventure. She had an overnight with her aunt.
Oh, wow.
And they're at work all day
exciting.
today. It's exciting. I'm a nervous Nelly, but
it's okay.
it's good.
She's in good hands.
It's good. She's in good hands. We've, talked to her a couple times. And then I looked at my sister yesterday and I was like, this girl is my life. Do not lose her. And I was in tears and my sister's just laughing at me. She goes, I know everything's going to be fine. I'm like, I know. And I know I'm ridiculous. I know you're responsible. I know you're going to take care of her. But, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough.
No, I get it. I totally get it. I'm still paranoid letting my kids get on a bus on a field trip because they usually don't have seatbelts.
Yeah.
And that scares the poop out of me. And so I totally feel you. But she is growing up. That's so quick. I don't like it.
I know.
Time's
but
going so fast.
think about it when you were going into junior high.
Yeah.
And junior high for us starts in 7th grade.
So she's a year, because I was in 6th grade.
I was in 6th grade when I started junior
for middle
high.
school, yeah.
But think of how much independence you had when you were in 7th grade.
Yeah. It was a different time too.
I was running around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'd leave my house and come back the rule was come back before it gets dark outside.
Right.
Go.
Right.
Come back before it gets dark.
And now it's like, don't even leave the house.
I know. It's like, where are you going? Yeah. What are you doing? Do I have everyone's number?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so funny. Such a different time, but
it is.
I'm very proud of her. She got the Presidential Scholar Award. So she's a little super smarty kid. And
get it?
She spoke at her little graduation.
Aww.
And it was so cute.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Aww.
My little baby's growing up.
Too fast. I swear.
Too fast.
Time, and especially I feel like when the older you get,
yeah,
time just goes so much faster.
Time portal.
Maybe when we older, we see it more. I don't know. But it's okay.
Yeah.
She'll be okay.
Yeah. No, she's doing awesome. I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud of all my kids.
Yeah.
And they started tennis this summer too.
Yay.
So it was really exciting. And
Aww.
new
Doing
sports,
new
things, new experiences.
And the summer's just going to fly by.
It always does.
Mm-hmm.
It always does. It feels like it's just very short. It's only 2 months. But it's very short.
Super short.
All right. Well, enough reminiscing.
Yes.
Let's get this episode over with.
No, I'm going to drag it out.
Oh, no.
But you did a crazy cool stitch. She just brought it out to me, and I was so impressed.
I'm so excited to show you guys this.
I'm telling you, she's a genius.
I was inspired. Well, let's get stitching. And
Okay,
I'll talk
let's
about
get
it.
stitching.
Let's get stitching. Okay, Stitchers. So for this week's stitch, I was inspired by this YouTube channel because, I'm always looking up crochet stuff on YouTube. So YouTube loves to suggest, hey, what do you think about this crochet thing?
Seriously.
So I've never heard of this before, but this is really fun. It's Floppin' Fiddlesticks Craft and Coffee House. That's the name of the channel.
What is it again?
Floppin'
Exclamation
Fiddlesticks.
mark.
Yeah. With a smiley face and hearts.
Oh, okay.
Floppin' Fiddlesticks Craft and Coffee House.
You made it sound cooler because it is flopping, but you went flopping.
Floppin' Fiddlesticks.
That's
right,
cute.
my little southernness. Floppin'
I love
Fiddlesticks. So she's really cute things on here, but the one that it suggested is called the Easiest Granny Square Super Cute DIY Crochet Bag.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah. So it's a really cool bag. It is, and I was inspired by it. I didn't follow her pattern. I just chose a granny square that I actually just kind of made up. I just kind of put a couple of granny square elements together. I decided to do sunflowers because, it's summertime. So it's 3 granny squares, and you make the granny squares as big as you want. Mm-hmm. And then you fold 2 of them in half, face each other, so they're diamonds, and you put the third one folded in half underneath. Right? Do you see?
I do.
And it makes bag.
Did you stitch it together
and
with
then
that
you
different
stitch
color?
them together. Yeah, I stitch them together.
You make it
with
look
that
so
green.
effortlessly. I don't know. You are amazing.
It's pretty. It's awesome. And then you just make, a strap to go across, and then you have this cute little bag. I was thinking about adding a 4th granny square on the top and just sewing one part of it over so that it becomes like a lid, a flap for the purse.
So cool.
It's so cool, you guys. 3 granny squares. It took no time. You just make the
like
granny
your
squares and you put them
sunflowers
together. Thank you.
They're so pretty.
And you can make the granny squares as big or as small as you want, depending upon whatever size bag you want. The strap can be however big or long you want. But I was thinking I would make like a big, huge one for like a beach bag, you know?
Ooh, yeah.
It'd be perfect
big
little
one.
beach bag. But right now it's this cute little purse that my youngest has already
touch.
decided she wants to claim.
Of course she does.
But, you know, anything cute that I make, she's like, that's mine. I want it. That's mine. I'm like, I have to give some of these to the patrons. You can't take all of the things.
So how long did it take you to make this?
2 days. 2
You're
days.
so
one day
cool.
to do one day to do the granny squares
Right.
and kind of plan it out. And then I just stitched it all together yesterday.
You're so quick.
Yay. So it's fast, it's easy, and it's super cute. And if you have granny squares, you know, which are a great thing to make during the summer, because who wants to make a big bulky blanket during the summer?
True that.
You know, you just make these
Actually,
little
I do.
granny squares. I know, I do too. But
I want
you
to make all the things.
yeah,
So.
you make these little granny squares.
That's
and then,
so good.
And it's just, you know, the method behind it is you can do any kind of bag with it.
right.
So I'm sure I will be making a lot of these. I'm sure our patrons will be getting some.
Yay!
So.
Oh, that's so cool.
Dad, do you want a purse? I'll make you a purse. So anyway, pretty cool.
You can make him a
That's it.
vest.
Oh yeah, I'll make him. I'm still gonna do that to my dad. I'm gonna make him all these cute little things and be like, "Here you go, Dad."
Oh, he's gonna love it. Got you a vest.
Oh, he's gonna like not be a patron anymore.
No.
because-
I don't want this. Just kidding.
Just kidding, Dad. We'll send you some cool
Just
stuff.
kidding.
But yeah, so that's my little.
It's so cool, Angela. Good
Stitch.
job.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You always baffle me because you're so cool about this.
You make cool things too.
I know,
You
but
baffle
you're
me.
like, I take like 3 weeks to make one project, and you're like, oh,
Well,
I
you're
turned around
doing
in, like, 2 days.
amigurumi.
Yeah, but this is hard.
It's
to
not
me.
hard.
Okay, whatever. Tomato.
Tomato, tomato. Let's call the whole thing off. All right. So I guess I've dragged out my stitch as long as I can possibly
but I
do my
I'm
stitches.
so excited.
I know.
And
I'm kind of excited.
we'll link the YouTube on our page, and I'll put that. Hopefully, if we can put that on the social, I'll put the link on the YouTube.
Yes.
But you said you kind of did this on your own, though.
Yeah. I just, the method is really simple. I just borrowed her method.
Oh, okay.
And I think she stitched them together very differently than I did.
I still think,
But
that looks cool.
I love my little,
Yeah.
I love doing it this way. This is just, I slip stitched it together and that's all it is. It's just
Oh,
a slip stitch
nice.
between the seams. And
It
then
looks
I
just
like the
so
way,
easy. Yeah.
I like the way that looks. It looks nice and clean.
Right.
I think she used a half double crochet to do them together.
And that's a little chunkier usually.
Yeah. It makes a bigger seam.
Yeah.
This is just like a cute little simple seam. And I feel like it gives it a little bit more structure that way too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just made up my own granny square. I just borrowed her method. So make up your own granny
So
squares.
you didn't
or
use a pattern for the sunflower granny square?
no.
You just know how to do it.
Yeah.
You're so
it's,
cool.
I've seen enough. You can kind of figure it out. If you know basic things about granny squares, I can link the inspiration patterns that I used to do the granny squares. I kind of combined like 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
But once you understand the method behind making a granny square, or you can find your own favorite pattern, I recommend when you do the granny square, especially if you're not going to do,
too, right?
if you're not, yes, I kept expanding it. I
Yeah.
just kept making it bigger and doing things. I recommend that you use a granny square pattern that doesn't have a lot of holes in it because you're making a bag, so you don't want a lot of places for things to slip through.
This is awesome for like if you make a bigger one, you could put your yarn in and a crochet like travel thing.
Yeah, it could it could be anything. It's a cool bag,
Yeah.
and you can make it whatever size you want.
I love it.
Do whatever you want with it, and it's a really fast, easy method to make a bag. I liked it so much,
I love it.
and it's just cute to have these granny squares on it.
Yeah, and you can make any color.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Any colors, anything.
But that sunflower.
The world's your oyster here. You can do whatever you want.
You're your own artist.
You
You ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready. It's story time.
Clowns.
Oh no. Circus.
Afro circus. All right, this special 50th episode, I want to deep dive into a topic that has both Angela and me on the edgiest of edges.
You're so cruel.
Clowns. Now, trigger warnings are sprinkled throughout this episode.
Oh,
Okay?
no.
So, listener discretion advised. You probably don't want younger ears around, which is funny. I was on my way over to Angela's. I've got my littlest one with me. Am I old enough to listen to the podcast? And I let him listen to the most recent one, which I was like, okay, but he did have some questions.
Oh, no.
What's an ice pick? I'm like, oh shoot. So, yeah, listener discretion advised for sure, though, on this one, okay? Now, why are clowns so freaking scary?
Because they just are.
Now, Angela, do you have any background with why you're so fearful of clowns?
I used to actually like clowns when I was little. I thought they were fun. And
okay.
If they have like a friendly expression, then they're fun. But all the paintings, like I had a childhood friend growing up, and she had clown paintings in her room that she would cover up with paper because they have a weird grin and it's all over exaggerated. So I think that's why they're scary, is that they're just very over exaggerated and they get in your face. And that's what creeps me out about them.
Okay.
Is that they're trying to, like, I don't know, our minds just morph them into like this over exaggeration of being in your face and like being like really weird, and it just gets scary.
You're amongst a big population.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Now, I just wanted to see why you're afraid of it. Because I've told you guys, I think I've told the podcast before, when I was growing up, I had same thing. I had a big like poster on it wasn't even a poster, it was like a actual artwork, but it had this shine to it, so it looked 3D.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
So like one way you look at it, looks like it's like moving and looking at you. So that was one. And two was Poltergeist.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that when I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
And there's a clown under your bed, and that scared the crap out of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not cool. So media, right? Media kind of exaggerates.
Media exaggerates the clowns.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, so I want to discuss, I think this is how it's pronounced. Why didn't I look this up? Calrophobia.
Calrophobia. Okay.
Or it's cool. No, I'm sure it's calrophobia. And the science behind why humans have this immense fear of clowns, the evolution of clowns, and a few spooky things that we may have discussed in past episodes, plus other frightening clown topics. Okay? Now, Britannica.com states that calrophobia, the fear of clowns, is a rare phobia. But The Guardian says that according to researchers, it's a common phobia. So who knows? But they say it's more common than the fear of heights.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting.
So, yeah.
That's interesting.
So people are more afraid of clowns on the ground than flying, which is crazy. Now, researchers believe calrophobia has been around for roughly 4,500 years because clowns have existed for about that long.
4,000 years?
Yes, over 4,000.
What?
In fact, the first known clowns were known to exist around 2400 BC in the 5th dynasty of Egypt. These clowns served a socio-religious and psychological role, and most of the time, most of the time, the clown and priest were one and the same person.
What? That's so crazy.
Strange, yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't either. But clowns were seen in more important roles in non-Western cultures, whereas in Western cultures, closer to modern times, clowns were seen as a traditional circus clown with a more comedic role. And note that the English word clown wasn't recorded until about 1560, with the generic meaning rustic, boor, or peasant, and possibly traced to Scandinavian origins, but it's not 100% known.
Interesting.
Clown.
Clown.
But I digress because I'm not here to give you a history lesson on clowns. Why are we so afraid of them?
I don't know.
Now, according to Dr. Ramy Nader in Vancouver, he believes that the fear of clowns stems from the feeling of not knowing what is really going on in the mind of the person behind the face paint or mask. Kind of like what you're touching on.
Okay.
Like this big, over emphasized makeup.
Yes. Yes.
When there is a huge painted smile on a clown's face, there is inherent mistrust.
Yeah. Because, like, it's over exaggerated. You shouldn't be smiling that much.
It's not real.
It's not genuine.
No. Professor of psychology Frank McAndrew adds that clowns have a long history of being seen as suspicious. In medieval Europe, jesters were supposed to poke fun of kings, and they made fun of people in high places uncomfortable. He believes clowns are designed to make people afraid. They're pranksters.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Like, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, at the University of South Wales, hundreds of participants of a research experiment were given a questionnaire about clowns. And hilariously, it was called the Fear of Clowns questionnaire. Okay, very straightforward. In this survey, participants were asked to rank statements based on intensity of feeling, and statements included, I think a lot about clowns. 2, clowns are one of my worst fears. And also, if I came across a clown, I would leave the room. After going through all the collected data, researchers narrowed down 8 primary causes of calrophobia. Okay, number 8. We're going to read this like Letterman. Okay, number 8. A frightening experience with a clown.
Okay.
That's number 8. Number 7, negative portrayals of clowns in popular culture, like my fear. 6, fear of clowns has been learned from family members.
Oh, yeah. We fall into that category with our own children because we made up a camp story.
That's
I've told that
right.
story on this
See?
podcast before.
Now
We
your
made up a
kids are-
camping story
Thanks,
about
Mom.
a clown named Bobo and who eats children, which that's a very common clown trope. But anyway,
There
it
you
got
go.
to the point where we actually have a Bobo doll. I was going to bring him out and let him sit here during the
Ooh,
podcast.
Why didn't you bring it? That would have been perfect. Creepy.
Because it's a clown and it's creepy and I don't want him sitting here staring at me.
Because it'll come to life. Okay. Number 5, clowns' unpredictable behavior makes us uncomfortable. Number 4, the color of clown makeup reminds us of death, infection, or blood injury
Ew.
and evokes disgust or avoidance.
Okay, that makes sense. White face, you're like totally pale, no
with
color.
red,
With red is blood,
Yeah.
and then
and red is injury.
an injury,
Yep.
and so is blue.
Blue is-
bruises.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Weird.
Strange. Right?
Okay.
Number 3, clown makeup hides emotional signals and creates uncertainty.
Yes. Okay.
Mhm. Number 2, clowns' exaggerated facial features convey a direct sense of threat.
Yeah. Okay.
And then number 1 reason, an eerie or unsettling feeling due to clowns' makeup making them look not quite human. A similar response is sometimes seen with dolls or mannequins.
The uncanny valley.
Yes. See?
Yes.
There you go. So that was number 1.
Nice.
Okay. The survey also showed that women
Uh-huh.
are more afraid of clowns than men.
Why?
Because we're more admitting to it, I bet.
Probably. Man's like, I'm not afraid of
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, clowns are scary. Yeah, no, they are. With that, let's go into some pretty creepy real life and paranormal clown situations through history. This is so exciting.
Okay.
Okay, the first one.
Yes.
Now, who wouldn't be afraid of clowns when there was a serial killer caught in the 1970s for murdering over 30 young men, nicknamed the Killer Clown? Yep. I'm referring to John Wayne Gacy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only going to scratch the surface here, but last year Netflix released Conversations with a Killer, the John Wayne Gacy tapes. And what a doozy. Did you watch that?
I did not because it's clowns and it scares the poop out of
This
me,
guy
and so
is
I didn't do it.
insane, though.
Well, yeah.
Freaking insane. But like I said, this isn't going to be like diving into him.
Right.
So, and there's so much out there on him, but
Yeah.
now, interesting, though, how across the different websites Gacy's early life varies vastly. Britannica states John Wayne Gacy, born March 17th, 1942, had a quote-unquote fairly ordinary childhood.
Okay.
However, everybody else, biography.com, says quite the opposite, and that his father was an alcoholic who beat him and his siblings with a razor strap if he
Oh
thought
my
they
gosh.
misbehaved. Yeah, that's not normal.
Nope.
He would also physically abuse Gacy's mother as well.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that is definitely not a normal upbringing. At school, he remained alone as he couldn't play with other kids due to a congenital heart condition. I'm not sure how much later into his life he figured this out, but he did realize he was attracted to men, which threw his inner life in turmoil, unsure how to proceed with his sexuality.
Oh, poor
So
dude.
all of this going on is just so hard for him.
I'm like, poor dude, but
Poor dude.
no.
No,
No,
poor dude.
no empathy for him.
He was capable of going the right direction on this.
Therapy, y'all.
Yeah.
Check it out. It helps.
BetterHelp.com.
We are not sponsored, but we would love to be.
I'll plug it, but
Yeah.
yeah, we're not sponsored. All right. Throughout the 60s, Gacy was married and worked as a fast food manager because her father was like, hey, I've got all these restaurants. I'm going to have you manage them. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Get to marry into that. But in 1968, Gacy was convicted for sodomizing a boy. Gacy was sentenced for 10 years, but only served 18 months. That's pretty crazy. When he was released, he was a divorced man, and he decided to make a fresh start for himself and move to Chicago.
Wait, 18 months already divorced. He was like, okay, you're in prison, done.
Oh, yeah. Once I think I didn't read about this, but I'm sure like once you find out this is what you're convicted for, no, I don't want to be married to you. This is gross. Yeah. Not cool. Here he became a well-liked figure in his community. He became an independent building contractor, volunteered as a Democratic precinct captain, attended church weekly, and even remarried. So his whole life got flipped upside down.
Dude, my life got flipped turned upside down.
He is not the prince. But,
No.
He would also throw extravagant block parties. So there he is. Among the political and church activities, Gacy also was an active member of the Chicago area Jolly Joker Clown Club. He would frequently perform in his clown attire and makeup at children's parties, charity fundraisers, and other events as either Pogo the Clown or Patches the Clown. Note that as he became skilled at applying his own clown makeup, he decided to paint sharp corners versus the round corners that typical professional clowns would adorn, because to him, it, quote unquote, wouldn't scare the children.
Sharp corners don't
you.
scare the children?
Because it's more like, it's more defined as a smile. I don't know.
No.
He would tell everyone that he entertained at children's hospitals, but there is no evidence of
No,
this
I
statement.
don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Stop.
I showed her pictures.
No. Guys.
There he is.
That's terrifying.
Pogo or Patches.
Why is that so? I don't like it.
That's so scary.
I mean,
right?
even if I didn't know who he is and what he does,
it's still scary.
I don't like it.
That's not entertaining, right? That sharp corner smile does not help at all.
Oh man.
No. And the blue eyes, no, that's not cool. From early to mid 1970s, Gacy was accused a couple more times of sexual assault by young teenage boys, but the charges were dropped. As a highly well-liked figure by all, no one suspected what Gacy was doing throughout the 1970s. By 1975, Gacy openly admitted to his wife that he was bisexual, but then on May 11th, after the two made love, he declared he wouldn't have sex with her ever again. She noticed Gacy bringing teenage boys home through the garage and also found gay pornography in the home, and the two mutually divorced in March of 1976. And then, in 1978... 15-year-old Robert Peast was reported missing. Last seen by his mother at the drugstore he worked at, and she knew he was to meet John Wayne Gacy afterwards for a potential construction job, but never came home. When no other leads turned up, police arrived at Gacy's doorstep 10 days after Peast went missing. There was an intense surveillance that led up to that meeting. Gacy knew police were following him and even invited them out to meals and restaurants. He was just being a jerk. He's like, you can't catch me.
Yeah. It's so
Gross.
Ugh.
December 17th. I love that. 1978. Gacy invited two surveillance detectives to a restaurant for breakfast and openly talked about his business, marriages, and even his activities as a registered clown.
Oh, God.
At one point, it's so gross. At one point, Gacy remarked to one of the two surveillance detectives, you know, clowns can get away with murder.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. This guy, man.
His thought process, definitely not normal.
so narcissistic and
Yes.
egotistical and just
Yep.
it's oh.
And he thinks he can get away with it, as he states, basically. After obtaining a warrant to search Gacy's home and finding small trinkets belonging to other victims, as well as a photo receipt from the pharmacy that Peast worked at, which tied Gacy to the pharmacy the day Peast went missing, which led to a colleague of Peast who confirmed he left with Gacy. Gacy eventually confessed to his lawyer that he did commit at least 30 murders.
Oh my god.
Police confirmed a majority of his victims by obtaining a second warrant to search Gacy's home, where they uncovered 29 bodies total on Gacy's property.
Holy crap.
on
He
his pri-
buried them on his property?
26 in the crawl space, 3 in other various areas under the home.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't put this in, but basically he had people come construction. He hired people to dig that crawl space, and he would watch carefully and say, okay, I need it go through here and here. He was very meticulous because he knew he was going to throw bodies in there.
Didn't it like stink? How did it not smell?
No idea. He had it so far underneath his house.
I don't like it. No.
Sadly, 8 of those bodies could not be identified because they're just so decomposed. Gacy confessed to a total of 33 murders because a witness also came forth and said he had killed at least 30, but there could have been more.
Oh.
Gacy's last 5 victims were thrown off the I-55 bridge into the Des Plaines River because his crawl space was full.
Oh my god.
Poor victims. Gacy confessed that his first victim was 15-year-old Timothy Jack McCoy, whom Gacy picked up at the Chicago Greyhound bus terminal. He promised McCoy he would take him sightseeing around Chicago, have him stay the night, and then promised he would take him back to the terminal to catch his connecting bus to Omaha. That night, Gacy claims he saw McCoy at his door to his bedroom holding a knife. After McCoy held his arms up in surrender, Gacy still tried to wrestle the knife from his hands, which resulted in an accidental wound to Gacy's arm. But then Gacy proceeded to attack McCoy and ended up stabbing him while straddling his body.
Sure.
After the murder, though, Gacy noticed breakfast being made in 2 place settings and that McCoy most likely went to wake up Gacy, but was holding a kitchen knife while doing it.
Oh my gosh.
This is pivotal, though, in Gacy's lust for killing, as he claimed that while stabbing McCoy, he was aroused and said, "That's when I realized death was the ultimate thrill."
No.
Gross.
I don't like it.
Yeah. So now back to Gacy's home. Gacy's victims were all found in different ways, some with bags around heads or torsos, some mutilated, but as I mentioned, not all were identified. Robert Peast's body was found on April 9th, 1979, in exposed roots on the edge of the Des Plaines River. February 6, 1980, John Wayne Gacy was tried for 33 murders total. A year prior, Gacy attempted to plead that he suffered from multiple personality disorder and met with doctors for over 300 hours, and some doctors even did testify on his behalf with this claim.
That sounds like the room,
Identity.
identity. Yeah, it sounds like Identity.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah, they could have gotten the premise for that movie from this.
that, yeah.
But that one was different. I feel like he did have all those personalities. He didn't. Prosecution argued Gacy was able to think logically and was of sound mind because he was able to control his actions, and the insanity plea was a sham. Duh.
Well, yeah, he was very meticulous on
He was
his whole
narcissistic.
plan,
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. In a short 2-hour deliberation by the jury, Gacy was found guilty of 33 charges of murder and was sentenced to death. The initial execution date was set for June 2nd, 1980, but after a lot of court hearings, appeals, etc., Gacy's execution took place May 9th, 1994, but was confirmed at 12:58 a.m. May 10th, 1994.
Oh my goodness.
Evil.
Evil and
clown.
Like,
See?
I know. Ew.
So gross. Next, we have Joseph Grimaldi.
Oh, no, not again.
Yes, we have mentioned him in a previous past Haunted Theater episode.
Yes.
But he is one of the most recognized and celebrated OG clowns. And Joseph Grimaldi, we're going to dive into him a little bit. So he was born on December 18th, 1978 in Westminster, London. His father was an Italian pantomime artist as well as ballet master.
Mm-hmm.
And while his mother was a dancer. And Grimaldi's father was not the greatest. It is known that he had at least 10 children with 3 different women.
Oh, no.
He got around.
So spreading a seed.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So when Joseph was born, Grimaldi was splitting his time between mistresses, and Joseph was raised by his mother alone most of the time in a slummy area of London.
Oh, Joseph.
This poor little guy. At some point, though, he went back to them and had another child, but but Joseph was groomed to be a performer at the wee age of 2 years old.
Oh, buddy.
2. And he was having a great time. So,
okay, good.
yeah, Joseph was introduced to the stage at Drury Lane Theatre in London, England. Then when he was a hit at the Sadler's Well Theatre the following year. The first major role there was as Little Clown in the pantomime The Triumph of Mirth, or Harlequin's Wedding, in which his father starred in it as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Father-son act.
Exactly.
Little bonding. It's like, hey, I know you.
We're going to act together. While working at Sadler's Well, Grimaldi was seen as a great innovator due to his physical dexterity as a clown and became well known in this role alone.
Typecasting.
He did what he did great at, so there you go.
That's good.
Yeah. Following in his father's footsteps, he starred in the pantomime version of Robinson Crusoe in the 1790s. Now, even though he had more work afterwards, working at Drury Lane became turbulent, and he left the theater in 1806. Grimaldi worked between Covent Garden and Sadler's Well theaters, and at this point was London's leading clown and comic entertainer. In 1820, due to disagreements with the theater's management, he parted ways. And because of his injuries and his health was declining, Grimaldi retired in 1823. Sadly, in his last years of his life, Grimaldi was very depressed and lived as an impoverished alcoholic.
Oh, sad clown.
He was like, yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, poor guy. Yeah, sad clown.
Vida Pagliaccia.
Exactly. He died in his home in Islington in 1837 at the age of 58, but was known to all as the father of the clowns. Now, it's hard to say that the next couple accounts were from Joseph Grimaldi himself, but because he loved the stage as well as the ladies, people claim it was him indeed. So let's go back.
Okay.
I'm going to repeat what we talked about in that
many
haunted theater.
moons ago.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to that episode if you
Yeah.
haven't already.
Exactly.
I can't tell you what number it is.
That's a good thing, right?
Number 1 through 50, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. Exactly. But yeah, so like I said, I've talked about this before, but I'm going to repeat it again. From Ghost Walk of the Lanes website and previously mentioned, the musical Oklahoma was taking place at the Drury Lane Theater, and one of the actresses was having difficulties delivering her punchlines. And remember that?
Yes, I love this story.
Yeah, and failing miserably night after night. But then, one performance, she suddenly felt these strong hands rest on her shoulders and started maneuvering her around different parts of the stage, and even repositioned her arms and readjusted the angle of her head. When she was delivering her lines then, the audience erupted in laughter.
I guarantee it's Ado Annie. I'm just a girl who can't say no. I guarantee it's her because, I mean, she's the comedic role. So,
well, then that's probably her.
Yeah. Aww.
So, again, there's no physical like clown, but they think because he was just such a helpful person and loved the theater and loved ladies.
Yeah. That's such a sweet story. I like that. Yeah.
And then the same thing happened years later. The King and I took the stage in the same theater, and a young singer was on stage auditioning, but she was overcome with stage fright and couldn't perform until out of nowhere, she felt a tap on her shoulder, as well as a calming touch by unseen hands that helped guide her to the center stage. She performed her audition beautifully with no fear, thanks to this ethereal force holding her hand. And she was given the star role in the musical.
Yay. See, I like him.
Yeah,
I
so-
remember him. I
yeah.
liked him. He was sweet.
So he's
Thank you for throwing
scary.
a nice clown in there for me.
a nice clown. And I need to correct my haunted theater episode too in the
Oh.
last statement. Okay.
Okay.
It was, remember I told you about the severed head being seen up in the wings? Of,
Yeah.
clown head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, Giuseppe, Joseph Grimaldi's father, was the one that asked in his will for his children to sever his head from his body because dude had a morbid fear of being buried alive. So it wasn't Joseph Grimaldi wanting to be.
It was his dad.
His dad.
Well, that makes sense because that felt like out of place, just like
Right.
this creepy ghost head when he was like being so helpful. To,
Oh, but just wait.
oh no.
But you're right. But
Okay.
yeah, but it said Giuseppe suffered from taphophobia, coming from the Greek word meaning fear of the grave, and refers to the Latin version vivisepultura. I don't even want to say it, or burying alive.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank
you. And what's messed up is that he offered a bribe in his will to his oldest daughter, Margaret, in order to carry out the gruesome task of beheading him, which was a gold watch that was worth a lot of money at that time.
Dear Lord, how?
He was just that scared of being buried alive. He's like, just cut my head off.
But like making your kid do it though?
Exactly.
That's terrifying.
That's
No, no.
No.
Just no. I am not doing that.
Yes. So like I said, maybe that one in Drury Lane is Giuseppe being
Yes.
seen. Okay. And
Okay.
but that's Joseph's. I have a clown face. That's pretty creepy too.
Yeah. I don't. I would rather not see his clown face. I thank you for being a helpful clown, a helpful ghost.
Right.
But like, dude,
the depiction's
like
pretty
the
creepy.
pictures.
Yeah.
And didn't like people, they base their makeup off of what
Yes,
he did, right?
exactly. Yeah. Father of the clowns.
See, I remember things.
Good job.
I'm not that old. That my
No,
brain
you have
doesn't-
the elephant memory. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of. not as good as what it once was, but yeah.
Now, note, I knew after reading about Joseph Grimaldi's background that Drury Lane Theater wasn't the only place his spirit visits. Since Grimaldi had a long-standing career at the Sadler's Well Theater in Islington, patrons and staff used to see him sitting in one of his boxes. But sadly, the theater was updated and this box no longer exists.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, so they used to see him there all the time.
Well, okay. Not a bummer because it's a bummer that we don't get to see his ghost anymore. But like, if I saw a clown sitting in a box, I would want to get rid of that box.
Yeah,
so like,
exactly.
I understand.
So you get both sides here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But here is where they used to see Joseph Grimaldi's floating clown head in the back rows of the old theater. So it's not only Drury Lane.
But okay, is it Joseph or is it his dad?
They
Did
think
his dad?
it's Joseph, but it could be Giuseppe since, again, he was the
He's the one that has his head severed.
Yeah.
He's just following his son. He's trying to ride his son's coattails.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's I didn't doubt that.
Giuseppe.
But sadly, the area where they saw the floating head in Sadler's Well Theater has also been replaced. 1998 it was. So I don't think he's visible to this day. Or
Man.
is he?
Uh-oh.
So let us know if anybody's been out to those theaters, if you've seen a clown head floating around. Hey.
Oh my God. If you've seen a clown head floating around, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Ah.
Now we move on back to another past episode, this was just as scary. I bring you back to the spookiest road I think I've ever heard about, State Route 74, also known
Ortega
as
Highway.
Yeah, got it. And Angela, I put this in my notes. We can hit it up on our way to Vegas.
Yes, we can. Yes,
I
we
wanna
can.
go look at it.
Side note, after we aired this episode, I mentioned that my sister lived close by Ortega, and then I was talking to her after, because she used to live in San Diego, and I was talking to her after the episode aired, and she was like, oh yeah, I used to drive on that highway all the time. It is scary. You get crazy vibes. And she used to go off-roading there too, and she's like, it is terrifying. It's
Scary,
really
right?
scary. And then, we were talking about the things that that were discovered on Ortega Highway. And she's like,
She didn't know that.
No, she didn't know that. She's like, I'm definitely never going on that highway. I'm so glad that I don't live over there anymore.
Yay!
But like,
Oh, that is so creepy.
that she can confirm it is a scary highway.
And it's
You get crazy
windy,
vibes.
right? It's
Yeah.
just so windy. So I guess that can be really deterring too, because you're just going around curves and you don't know what to see and expect. So
Yeah.
on the website backpackverse.com, someone wrote in their personal encounter with the ghost clown.
I don't like the ghost clown.
All right.
I'm like getting chills again already. Just thinking
This
about
is pretty
stupid ghost
creepy.
clown.
No, it's creepy. This comes from Joshua
Oh.
H. Okay. It was a hot weekend and I was bored. With it being such a beautiful day outside, I knew that I had to do something outdoors, but there was nothing coming to mind. I could walk along the beach, dipping my toes in the water. I could hit up some bars with friends. Heck, I maybe even break out the old bicycle and cruise around a little bit while the breeze of the beautiful California air whisked through my hair. However, these were things that I always did, and I wanted to do something that was a bit out of the norm.
No, stick to what you know. Stick to what you know. Those sound like perfectly wonderful, lovely things
But he
to
wants
do.
to go on an adventure.
But no,
We didn't know this was going to happen.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I can already
you
tell you that those
ominous.
the other options sound perfectly wonderful and lovely to those.
You're funny. All right. That's when I decided to hit up some friends on Facebook and see if anyone had any ideas. One of my friends suggested that a nice cruise along the Ortega Highway, which is also referred to as Highway 74 or Route 74, would be something cool and different to get into.
That person is not your friend. You run away.
Oh, man. I asked him if he'd like to join, and we were off.
Oh, the friend went?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. That person's crazy.
I've been known among my friends as an adrenaline junkie. I was the guy who skateboarded, rode motorcycles, and was always getting himself into some sort of trouble. With that being said, Highway 74 is definitely a spot you can hit up if you want an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
First of all, the curves are absolutely insane. If you're not careful, you could end up losing control of your vehicle and end up in the hospital, or worse, the morgue. As a matter of fact, this highway has claimed its fair share of lives due to automobile accidents. As if that's not enough, what my friend and I found off-road was even worse. So we pulled over at this place alongside the road called Quest Diagnostics, which I mentioned earlier. And that's when things started to get very interesting, to say the least.
Uh-oh.
We were eager to get out of the car because we needed a serious leg stretching moment and because the road was starting to drive my friend's anxiety levels through the roof. Unfortunately, this place wasn't going to make the situation any better whatsoever. While we're stretching our legs, we decide to do a little bit of exploring of the area. In particular, we saw this clown-like figure in the distance that looked like one of those garden gnomes you'd pick up from a Home Depot or something like that.
Oh my gosh. I don't like
Nope.
it.
My friend thought it'd be hilarious to get a picture with it and say we picked up a hitchhiker on our trip and share the photo on my Facebook post from earlier. As we started walking towards this clown statue, it was like we were never getting any closer to it. It was as if it was somehow moving away from us, but without moving. Then all of a sudden, it just vanished. I don't even know how to explain the whole thing, but it vanished right in front of our eyes. Now it was starting to get late and the sun was going down, but this thing clearly disappeared in front of us like a mirage or something. This really had us feeling creeped out, so we decided to turn around and run back to the car. When we turned around, we noticed the street lights were flickering like crazy, and we could see the clown statue appear briefly under the street lights every time the lights would go out.
No.
As we ran towards the car, we could hear the laughter of a clown,
No.
as if it was somehow following us, but we couldn't see it.
No. No.
Unfortunately, we were so damn scared that we never got any pictures, and no one believes us. Either way, I can tell you one thing. I'll stay at home and watch television before I ever go back to that place again, because I don't need any more true spooky stories in my life, that's for sure. I don't care how bored I get.
Yeah, see, stick to what you know.
You already
Go to
got
the
it.
ocean.
Go where it's safe.
Go where it's safe.
Go with the lights on.
Oh,
with the
can
sun
you
out.
imagine like working at Quest Agnostic? Like you have to
No.
go there every day.
And know all these stories around you? No. And but what happens if you look outside the window?
How many
Like,
times have you seen that stupid clown?
No.
And the clown isn't even the worst
It's
one.
not the worst one.
It's
Yeah.
the other thing that wants to take
Yes.
your soul.
And eat your soul. Yeah. Oh, that looks like some skeletal figure. Yeah. No, thank you.
Oh, dude.
So
I don't like that
Ortega
story.
74.
So,
Are we gonna go?
no.
She's hesitant. We're gonna do it. Okay.
Oh,
We'll move on.
okay.
The clown craze of 2016.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember this?
Absolutely, I remember this. This was like the scariest thing ever.
It was
I
insane.
hated it.
Yeah, we're gonna go
I
into it.
hated it.
Now I thought it was because of the It movie, but the It movie didn't come out till
Till
2017.
2017. Yeah.
So why?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
People
here
are
we go.
crazy.
People are insane, man.
I keep wanting to say insane clown posse. And I'm sorry for any of you juggalos out there if you are listening.
You a lover of them.
But like, oh man, I
Yep.
keep trying not to say that because I know that like, you know, it's a
group.
Yeah. And
But still, clowns,
still,
man.
Clowns.
Clowns. Okay. So like I was telling Angela, so in the United States, this is only our country in 2016.
Yeah.
There was some insane wave of clown hysteria, okay? Now, it started in August when police were getting phone call after phone call regarding complaints about a clown or a person dressed in clown clothing trying to lure kids into the woods in Greenville, South Carolina.
Gosh. Yeah.
That's the best. I think it's the best costume to try to do that with because it's the scariest thing ever.
It's the scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if you're trying to lure children into
Yeah.
the woods dressed as a clown, well, okay. It's kind of like a Darwin effect. I think you'll only get the kids that are not that smart because it's too scary. I think like
or they
most kids would
haven't
be like,
been introduced to clowns. Yeah.
no,
Yep.
I'm not going to follow this weird
creepy
painted thing.
right?
Oh man.
So in an August 21st report, Greenville County deputies stated that a woman said her son had seen quote unquote clowns in the woods around 8:30 p.m. Then an investigating deputy spoke with someone else who claimed to have seen a large figured clown with a blinking nose standing under
Ew.
a post light near the garbage dumpster area. The person said the clown waved at her and she waved back, but the clown didn't approach her.
Why would you wave back?
I would run.
I'd be like,
Nope,
no,
no.
yeah, just I'm leaving now.
I don't like you.
I don't. Yeah, I would probably yell that. I don't like you.
I don't like you.
I've done that before. Like if I like get talked into going to like a haunted house around Halloween or haunted
Right.
mazes or whatever, I yell at the performers. I don't like
I
you.
don't
Get
like
away.
those,
I
yeah.
yell at them.
I don't go to those because I don't want them around me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I would yell at the clown. I don't like you.
Well, then the children had told their parents that several clowns were seen in the woods trying to persuade them to follow them with large amounts of money.
Ew. No.
No.
God, why people? Like, why?
Just to think it's fun? I have no idea.
I-
I have no idea. One
Ugh.
resident said that she was in front of her apartment one evening. One of her sons told her that he had seen clowns in the woods whispering and making strange noises. Another resident of that same apartment complex went into the woods area where her son told her he had seen clowns, and she did see several clowns in the woods flashing green laser lights before running off.
Why people? Why?
Nope. One juvenile
This is like
caller.
such a nightmare.
It's creepy, right? One juvenile caller alleged that someone was taking photographs of kids in the neighborhood. Then they saw a person dressed as a clown coming up out of the woods before going away. An investigation was launched, but nothing came of it, thankfully. Kids were claiming that they lived in a house in the woods. I didn't write this in my notes, that it, like, if you went through the woods, there was a house, but there wasn't one. So we had no idea where they came from.
That's so crazy. I bet it was the kids just like taking turns dressing up like clowns and like
doing it, rotation.
No,
Oh,
I don't know. That is not a good clown training school.
No.
So, like,
it's not a good trick either.
No, I don't like it.
Then in September of 2016, there were roughly 9 clown arrests in Alabama. It's a lengthy article brought to you by AAL.com/Birmingham Real-Time News. But basically, these 9 arrests involve people threatening schools and other people as clowns.
Oh, God.
Yes. There were threats made through social media to other juveniles and students, and thankfully, the police were able to track everyone down. But some were considered terrorist threats due to the violence they promised to commit.
Dude,
Very intense.
that is taking
a little too far.
A prank too far.
Exactly.
Yeah.
7 of the 9, which consisted of 2 adults and 5 juveniles, faced felony charges. Schools were even on lockdown due to the threats. One social media account that was identified was Flomo Clown and was taken down, but then soon after it was right back up. And Facebook refused to take the second account down because it did not meet their criteria for removal.
Oh my gosh.
I checked, and yes, it's still up, but the last time they posted was in 2018. It's morbid because it talks about catching kids and eating them.
No.
And there's the page.
No. Don't ever go to that page.
Of the profile photo and their background image. It's not cool.
No, I don't have nightmares. I don't like it.
I'm sorry. I'm going to get it away.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, in
I don't
October,
like it.
hundreds of Pennsylvania State University students, a.k.a. Angry Mob, decided to swarm surrounding campus streets for a clown hunt because a rumor was spread that a clown was on campus. That was it. Hey, there's a clown on campus, and they were like, let's get him.
Let's get it.
Yeah. Lastly, in Connecticut, more social media threats to high schools with menacing-looking clowns were spread, which resulted in the school district banning all clown costumes and any quote-unquote symbols of terror.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
So but that's all there was in 2016. It just, this big craze took off, and all these events happened with all these clowns, and then it just died away.
Yeah, so it started off probably just like, I don't know how innocent, but like it started off as like one thing, and then people are like,
just
"Ooh,
snowballed.
let's go viral," and let's
social media took off with it.
Because it's 2016, that's social media just going nuts, and
Yeah.
people getting paid to to go viral and become influencers and all that stuff. That's
Don't use clowns,
crazy.
though.
Don't use clowns. Okay, so quick clown story to lighten the mood. I don't know if I've told this story before, but when I was, I think, 13, I did my last time trick-or-treating.
Okay.
Last time trick-or-treating. My friends dressed up as like
Cute.
cheerleaders. Yeah.
Cute things.
Cute, tiny little skirts and,
Right.
whatever. They had caught on to that part of Halloween. I was in a clown costume. I had like a big rainbow curly wig.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I did makeup, but I had a clown nose. I had like the clown costume on. I borrowed my brother's high tops. He wore like a size 13, big
perfect.
feet, right?
Yeah.
And so I went as a clown. And so I was
Okay.
like, oh, I totally missed the memo here. But
It's like Mean Girls.
I know, right? So we were out trick-or-treating, and then this group of like 15-year-old boys started chasing us.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh no. And I'm running, and one of my shoes falls off because, they're too big.
Oh no.
And so I stopped to get my shoe, and the boys run right past me and they start go past me and are chasing my friends that are dressed as cheerleaders, right? And I was like, oh, okay. So that's one story where being dressed up as a clown
It worked out.
worked out for me. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yay.
I love it. And my favorite clown actually is Krusty the Clown. So I can say that not all clowns are bad, right?
Yes. But Krusty the Clown is
amazing.
He's like, this old man that chain smokes and
Yes.
like a monkey.
He's so awesome. I love him. So he makes it better.
Okay.
All right. Lastly,
Yes, I know this motel.
we're going down to Vegas. Well, not Vegas. We're going to Tonopah.
Yes.
Nevada,
Yes.
to the Clown Motel.
To the Clown Motel. This place.
Have you heard of this place?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I've
yay.
seen so many episodes of paranormal
Yep.
investigators going to this Clown Motel.
Isn't that
And
crazy?
the owner of the motel seems perfectly lovely.
Yes.
He loves clowns.
Yes.
Like,
I'm going to go into that.
It's all about, like, it's a sheer love.
It's a love.
Of
It's a joy.
clowns.
He,
It's
he
a
grew
joy.
up loving it. Yeah.
And some of the clowns in these rooms are terrifying.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. And I'll let you
No,
talk.
you're good. You're good.
But-
I'm glad you know of it, though.
Yeah, and it's right next to a cemetery.
Yep. You beat
And-
me.
Yeah, I know you're gonna get there. But man, this place.
This place, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, talk about it, because if you don't know the Clown Motel, Google it. It is terrifying.
I'm going to show
people.
images on socials for sure on
Oh,
this.
yeah.
It's spooky. Okay. The opening statement on U.S. Ghost Adventures about this place.
Yes.
What do you find creepiest? Clowns, ghosts, cemeteries? How about all three of them at once?
Yay!
Yes. Okay. But we're going to rewind back to 1901 when Tonopah was a new town and the Tonopah Cemetery laid its first body to rest, John Randall Weeks. Then in the spring of 1911, the cemetery was just plain full with roughly 300 bodies. The reason why it filled up so quickly was due to the quote-unquote Tonopah plague of 1902, when a severe pneumonia swept through the town due to a lack of sanitary conditions. But strangely, it only affected grown men.
What?
I don't know.
How?
That's why they call it like a curse.
Oh, that's weird,
Spooky.
man. I didn't know that. That's
There you
crazy.
go. Then in February of 1911, right before the cemetery met its max capacity, a devastating fire broke out in the Tonopah Belmont mine that killed 17 miners.
Aw.
The Tonopah Cemetery, wouldn't you guess, was Angela what just said. It's a stone's throw away from the Clown Motel, nicknamed America's Scariest Motel.
Yep.
Yep. The motel was built in 1985 by Leona and Leroy David, and they did so to honor their father, who had 150 clowns when he passed away.
Yeah, that's too many.
That's too many.
That's
There-
about 150 too many.
Their father, Clarence David, was buried in the old Tonopah Cemetery. So the David children wanted the motel next to the cemetery to display his clown collection and build upon it with their dad close by.
Oh, well, that's sweet.
Huh?
Huh?
The current owner, I think it's how I pronounce his name, is Hamie Anand. I'm going to guess.
Yes.
Purchased the Clown Motel. Thank you. Purchased the Clown Motel from Bob Perchetti, who owned the motel for over 2 decades. Prior to owning the hotel, he was a lover and collector of clowns. When first taking over, he added 200 of his own clowns to the already 800 clown artifacts in the hotel.
Oh, no.
Today, there are roughly 2,000 clowns now that all live in the lobby.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
There's a sign that says "Caution: Museum has some haunted clowns.
Yeah.
Are you still want to enter? Are you still want to enter?"
Yeah.
That's good grammar there.
Yeah.
There's a
There's
fun
a
clown.
Ronald. Oh, no.
He's pretty spooky. There's spooky clowns everywhere.
Everywhere. Why? Why?
Why?
Why? I've asked that question so many times today. Just why?
Yeah, so
Oh,
as Angela's
no.
mentioned, so there's our themed rooms such as Friday the 13th room, a Halloween room, an exorcist room, and an it room.
Yep.
So there's the exorcist room.
Yep.
And there's the it room.
Yep. Giant Pennywise on the wall. You can sleep right next
Right
to him
next
if you
to
want
him.
to.
Yeah, he's so calming.
Oh, goodness me.
But soon after Anand purchased the hotel, he believed that the non-living were more frequent visitors. He claims that he would hear sounds that resemble footsteps, knocking, and voices drifting from unoccupied rooms. His belief is that the ghosts in his hotel are from the cemetery next door and that they aren't there to cause any trouble or harm.
Well, of course he's going to say, oh, the ghosts are friendly because he wants you
He
to
wants
come
you to
stay at
stay
his
there.
creepy motel.
You're right.
Oh, no.
And although some visitors say this motel is just a plain motel with an odd theme, many others swear up and down that it is haunted. Before we dive into visitor claims, note that back in Pueblo Native American history, some would dress in clown-like costumes to quote-unquote release their own personalities and welcomed possessions of nearby spirits.
No.
So legend states that the clown statues act as vessels for the miners' ghosts, and that clowns themselves allow for portal into the spirit world.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
If you relate it to the Native American thought. So.
Because, theoretically there are dolls there that are haunted and they will move and do things on their own.
Exactly.
Okay.
There you go. With that, people have witnessed apparitions walking to the graveyard from the hotel and back and hear disembodied voices saying, "We mined," and "We died that day."
Oh.
A particular man had been leaving the cemetery and walking around the property at all hours of the day. And when one of the previous owners attempted to make contact with the spirit, he froze and vanished before the owner's eyes.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Also, clowns themselves have been seen leaving the cemetery, balloons and all.
No.
Why have the balloons have made it worse, right?
Yes. Why? Why did the balloons make it worse? They do.
They do, right? It
Yes.
just adds to it.
Yes. Why?
Spooky. I don't know. It's spooky. Now, supposedly, room 108 is one of the most haunted rooms in the motel. Visitors claim that they heard disembodied voices here, as well as moved and or missing items. The nickname for this poltergeist is the Trickster.
No.
And this supposed main spirit has been seen coming from this cemetery and taking the form of a clown. The most nope report I've read about it is that guests have testified to seeing a nearly 7-foot tall clown standing at the foot of their bed while they wake up in a cold sweat.
No. It's too big.
It's too big. I don't like that one.
It. I don't like it.
Oh, I don't want that.
I'm crying. I don't like it.
Can you imagine, though? You wake up.
I don't want to. No, thank you. Oh, 7-foot tall clown.
7-foot tall clown.
Is he holding a balloon?
Oh, make it even worse. I have no idea, but just alone, that's no. There are so many reviews and mostly positive about the management, but one guest wrote in, "I heard a knock last night at my door. I checked and nothing was there. I also heard voices throughout the night and found scratches on the wall."
Ooh.
Could have been a rat, but you never know. Another guest said his wife heard a creepy laugh outside the door, felt several cold spots in the room, and she even felt something poke her arm in the middle of the night. That was not her husband.
Nope.
Don't touch me, man.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me, bro.
Don't touch me, bro.
Lastly, one visitor said they caught Charlie the Clown. I don't know which one this is, but it's in the museum.
Okay.
Move on camera, and it was intense. When they finally got into their room, the lights kept flickering. Bathroom light was going on and off, and they claimed to hear so many voices and felt like someone was behind them.
Dude, I do not want to be those people. No, thank you.
We probably want to stop by, but we shouldn't stay there.
We can walk through the museum.
Okay.
We are not spending the night.
No, I
we
won't.
can walk through the museum.
Okay. And then we'll sage ourselves so that it gets everything off.
Yep.
Okay.
And be like, no, we're not.
You cannot drive with us. You cannot.
That's so much juju, though. If we do
Seriously.
the Highway 74 and
and then the Clown Motel.
Oh my gosh, Nicole.
That's a lot.
I don't think we'd survive. I don't know.
Keep on driving.
No,
but there's our special episode.
We'll have to wear like our Depends when we do this.
I for sure will. Double it.
Oh man.
But our special episode of Clowns.
We made it through, team. Yay.
That was pretty intense.
Good
at the
job,
end, wasn't
Stitchers.
it?
Oh my gosh, I'm crying.
And we're not even done because we got to do.
It was so good. Oh, we have movie time. But before we do movie time, let me do my little plugs. If I can make it through this.
Okay, go.
You guys know this by now. If you have any clown stories of your own, you can email us at theominousstitch@gmail.com. Or if you just want to say hi, happy 50th.
Hey.
What has been your favorite episode?
Oh, yeah. Let us know.
Yeah. What do you want to hear us do this next year? We want to talk to you, so please talk to us. Email us at theominousstitch@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can also jump over to any of our social medias. We're on all of the things,
All of the
mostly
things.
Instagram, but we're on all of the things.
True,
so you
true.
can find us there.
Mm-hmm.
You can also catch us on podbean.com, where you can see all of the show notes from all of the episodes that we've done so far. You can also click on that special little magic button up in the upper right-hand corner called Become a Patron.
Yay.
Join our wonderful patrons. We're starting a patron army, so
A small but mighty army.
a small but mighty army, and we will send you things. We will give you shout outs.
Shout out.
We will, I don't know,
send you things.
yeah.
If you depending on how much you give, we'll give
You get patron episodes too. I forgot about those. Yeah.
Yes.
We do have patron
we're
episodes.
getting them. They're not all the way there, but we're getting them.
We're getting them out.
Yeah,
so
we're working
if
on
you want even more of us, you can become a patron and get those special little episodes that you don't get to release. Okay. So more clowns. Are we ready for movie time?
Finish this.
Movie time.
For this episode's movie time, I made Angela watch a two-parter.
Yeah.
We're going to review It 2017 release, 7.3 stars on IMDb. And the synopsis for this one: in the summer of 1989, a group of bullied kids band together to destroy a shape-shifting monster which disguised itself as a clown and preys on the children of Derry, their small Maine town. The second one is It Chapter 2, released in 2019, IMDb rating of 6.5 stars. And the synopsis: 27 years after their first encounter with the terrifying Pennywise, the Losers Club have grown up and moved away until a devastating phone call brings them back.
Yay. Okay. So I have seen the miniseries. So this is like one
The
of those.
old Tim Curry version.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is one of those rare things where I actually have seen what she's recommended. But I saw
In
the
a different
miniseries.
version,
Yeah,
yes.
the miniseries back. That miniseries is.
It's
so
dated,
fun.
but it was fun.
It's dated. It's fun. So I already knew the story.
Right.
I absolutely prefer these two movies. I like the way it was broken down, where they do the kid and then the 27 years later, because in the miniseries they
They kind of put it
intermingle
together, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
So these were cool movies.
So good.
They were so cool. And I'll have you know, I did watch them at night and I stayed awake. I didn't fall asleep.
Hey,
Woo-hoo!
good job.
That never happens, you guys. Once the kids go to bed, if I try to watch a movie after I put the kids to bed, I inevitably will fall asleep on the couch and I'll have to watch it in the morning or sometime later. But I made it through because it was so
it.
like,
It's
it was
good. It's
entertaining. It's
captivating.
good. Yeah, it's
And there's
captivating.
a lot of little nuances that you have to like actually watch, because those are the parts when it's quiet that scared me the most, that like kind of got me.
Yeah, you get those little jump scares. I love it because it definitely plays on some very common fears.
Oh yeah.
You get the jump scares. You get that crazy clown, Bill Skarsgård. Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård
Yep.
was so good. It like, have you seen his audition tape when he does Pennywise without the makeup?
Yes.
It's
He's
so
intense
good.
already.
Yeah,
in
it's
that.
so good.
Yes.
And just the way his face can
yes,
like
he
curl,
knows how
yeah.
to manipulate his facial expressions.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's
well.
even good without the makeup,
Yes.
and then they put all that prosthetics
And
on
he's
him, and it's
so
just so
good. Yeah,
It's
I
so
loved
good.
it.
I mean, Tim Curry is an awesome.
No, he was
Pennywise,
great,
but dude, he was scary.
he worked it. He knew what he
Yeah.
was doing.
And the cast was fantastic.
The kids were so
The
good.
kids were so good.
And then they cast really well the adults that
yes,
portrayed
they
them.
were. You totally saw the adult and
Yeah.
the kid. You saw them. They
Yes.
did so. It was so.
And my
perfect.
favorite was Bill Hader.
Bill
He's
Hader. I
so
love
good.
Bill Hader.
So good. But what got me in this movie, it was just the intros for both of them, how intense they were,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you know what to expect, right, from the old miniseries.
Yeah.
But this was like another level in
Yeah.
how they did it, and just like it's so sad, and you feel so like you want to do something and you can't for that little kid at the beginning.
For Georgie. Yeah,
Yes.
you want to help him, and you know that Georgie's not going to make it. Cause
Yes,
you know.
because that's how it sets up the whole movie premise. But
Yeah, and the way that Pennywise plays on that for Bill, you know,
Mhm.
Georgie's brother, and the through line of that story and how Bill has to keep overcoming that by killing Georgie.
yes,
It's like,
all the time, right?
oh,
Yep.
it's so heart-wrenching. But
Yeah.
I really liked these movies. They're equally terrifying and hilarious. Like, you're scared and then you're laughing.
Yep.
And then you're scared and laughing.
And
You
it's
go
like
back
tension and
forth.
release. Like,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
It's good. It's
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah.
And they don't feel as long as what they are because they're not
They're
short.
really long. I had to
Really
pause
long
it a few
movies.
times because I would start it and I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta go make dinner, or
Yeah,
I pause it and
yeah.
I was watching,
And you
so-
get that special Stephen King cameo.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Oh, that's so
cool.
good.
Yeah.
Couple things is that I have to be honest. I got the book from my mother-in-law. She's
Yeah,
like,
I
hey,
haven't read the book.
yeah, she's like,
so-
hey, here's the book. I'm gonna read. This was like a few years ago, and I started it, and then I just never had time to finish it. And I know the book has a lot of nuances that are a little different, and how like the kids are portrayed a little differently.
Yeah.
But I need to read the book. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know it's really good.
Yeah.
But my favorite scene.
Uh-huh.
I'm like grabbing
I
Angela.
know she is. She's so excited.
Because I don't know if you've all noticed this, because again, those subtle nuances are just so good. But it's when Ben is in the library
Uh-huh.
and he's reading the book.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember seeing the lady behind him?
No. Oh.
She's staring at him, and
yeah.
he's looking through it, and she's like, you can see her. She's like behind. She's like staring at him the whole time.
Oh, I didn't notice
See?
that.
Okay, so if you rewatch it, watch that part. That
Okay.
it gets me like gives goosebumps, because you can like those subtle little things. That's why you have to really pay attention to this movie. That creeped me out. Like, and it's just like in that second one when
Because
Beverly,
those- yeah.
when
okay.
Beverly's in her old home.
Yeah.
And she's looking at things. Same thing, where
Yeah.
you see the old lady kind of watching her from behind, and she's like
Oh.
running. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And she
yeah,
runs,
yeah.
and she's like naked, and she runs away.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, those little things in this movie, like, they're so brilliant, and how like you just don't, you have to catch everything. You have to watch it because they're so subtle and they're so quick,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so creepy at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I'll
But
have
yeah,
to watch it again. Okay.
So good. I love these
She's
movies,
dancing
guys.
it.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel like this, but the second one, just like in the miniseries,
Uh-huh.
the second one's not as scary as the first one.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah, like there's some good things, but the ending just like.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
wanted to
okay.
talk about the ending.
Good. Talk about the ending.
Spoiler alert.
Of
If you
course.
haven't seen it, watch it. It's good. But the way that they kill it, I'm like, really? You just make fun of the clown?
Exactly. Like, oh, you make him feel small.
I know. It's like, why didn't you do that in the beginning? Come on,
Right.
guys. Like when they were kids, they were like, he feeds on fear, so
Right.
you
So they
can't be
knew it.
scared. So that's
Yeah.
good. And then they forget all about that in the second movie because they're
Right.
adults. And
it's
when you're an
supposed to- that
adult,
magic,
yeah, it's
yeah.
fine. You know, when you're an adult, you forget. There's, you forget things when you're a little kid. And,
Well, and
you know.
this specific examples though for Derry, it kind of like holds it in so that when you leave, you forget it. So I think just because he doesn't want people coming back, right, as adults,
Oh, they
to-
forget
Uh-huh.
everything that makes
so
sense.
that he can keep killing little kids every 27 years and
Yeah.
adults and whatever, but he can keep doing what he wants to do.
Because I was wondering, I'm like, why do people still live there if this happens every 27 years?
Because they're weird. It's probably a brain trick. I have no idea.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
they
it
ignore
has
it. But
to
you
be.
see it. You see the old adults like ignore everything.
They do.
Which
Because
is
like her
insane.
dad didn't see all the blood in the
yeah.
bathroom.
So they
Yeah.
don't see it because their adult minds probably are just totally different, which is normal, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
kids are
you
more
have
sensitive.
more complex thought processes, and you're able to compartmentalize and block
Right.
things out as you're an
And we're
adult.
not as afraid as when we were kids,
Yeah.
right?
That's true. So, but yeah, Yes, the ending when they ridicule.
Yeah.
Pennywise,
the
and
Native
make him feel
American
small.
thing, and then having him turn small. Like,
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
okay.
Yeah,
But him coming from Earth, like coming to Earth as an alien, that was cool. I like that idea of he's not even from this planet,
no,
and he's eating us.
yeah, yeah. Killer clowns from outer space.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you seen that one?
Yes, I've seen it. You know what's funny? My husband started that not too long ago because like I can't remember this movie, and we started watching. It's like this is so ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
So
it's quite
bad.
ridiculous.
It's so bad. But I digress. Yeah. So that also brings up a good point when in the second movie when they show how who's the bully.
Henry Bowers.
Henry Bowers, yeah.
Yeah.
So when he comes out, when all the dead bodies are like slough out from the sewer, wouldn't anyone notice all the dead bodies coming out?
Right? Right? When you
that?
think so? Yeah.
But no, apparently not. And that was weird. Those little things like that, they're like, it's just looks
the adults
like
don't
ignored.
notice it.
Yeah.
I'm like, why hasn't anybody torn down the house?
Right? I thought the same thing too. Like there's this like decrepit house with, if you look at across the street, there's like a field with some old cars, right?
Uh-huh.
But when at the end you see the house collapse, you see this really
nice
nice
house next to it. Yeah.
And you're like, wouldn't the neighbors be out? Be like, what the hell's happening
Yeah,
right now?
right. That's
Yeah.
what I was wondering too.
Yeah.
I'm like, where are all the people watching
Where's
this happen?
everybody? Yeah.
Where have all the people gone?
But it's still such a good movie. I love the two-part movie. I think they did such a better remake of it.
I think so too. You care a lot about the characters.
Yeah.
You
There's
really
so much
dive
heart.
into their stories. There's a lot that's going on with everybody's individual stories. And they're funny and they're fun and they're relatable, and you get so happy when Ben and Bev finally like figure it
Yes,
out.
it's so cute. And those kids are really good actors.
Yeah, they are.
Like
Yeah,
you
they are.
believe them.
Yeah.
So I loved it. And then
Yeah.
like you said, the banter between Eddie and Richie.
Oh, they're so funny.
They're awesome.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. If you haven't watched it like me, go out and watch it. It's
Yes.
on
No,
HBO Max.
Well, they call it Max now.
Yeah, it's on Max. If you're in the know and you're cool, it's on Max. So IMDb rated these relatively high, like
7.3 and 6.8. Like I said, 6.5. The second one, I think most people agree with me. Like they like the first one a little more.
Oh, see, I may have liked the second one a little more.
Interesting.
Because I like the way that I think I'm comparing it to the original one, because I liked that the stories were separate, and I liked the adult actors in this one way better than the adult actors in the other one.
Yes.
And also, though, there were a few times where in my brain I'm wondering, like, how many takes did they have to do? Because they get so intense.
Yes.
And they're
right.
yelling in each other's face. I'm like, how many times did they break when they're doing that? Because
That's
like
true. Bill Hader would make me laugh all the time. I probably wouldn't be able to hold character. He's so good.
He's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Chinese
No, he had
restaurant,
me from
too,
the
and-
moment where he walked on screen and puked all
Oh,
over.
yeah.
I'm just like, Bill Hader's
Bill
in this. I
Hader,
love it.
yay.
Oh,
Well, what
so
would
good.
you rate? Let's do a combination rating. So what would you rate?
The whole thing,
Yes.
I would rate it high. It would be like in the 8s for me.
Yay! Look at
Yeah.
you.
Good storytelling. I enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably give it a 9 almost. Because I would watch these over and over again.
Yeah.
They're so good.
They're good.
Especially that first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. So I'm so glad we got to watch this movie.
Yay! She was like, we're going to watch both It's. And I was like, And my groan wasn't necessarily for the movies, but it was
Yes.
because I knew we were going to do clowns.
Gotcha.
Oh, this has been a fun, happy
Happy
year.
50th, man.
Happy 50th. Oh, kumbaya.
I'm just so glad. Yeah, this was
Here's a
good
red
combination.
balloon for you. No.
Oh my gosh! Last thing before I have to say,
Yes.
when this movie, the first one came out,
Uh-huh.
and I was talking to my coworkers about it.
Uh-huh.
The day after I walk into my office, there's a red balloon just floating in my office, and I knew my coworkers were the best because they got me, and it was so good.
Oh,
yeah.
Yay.
Yay,
That's
Ed.
funny.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's a good note to end this episode on. I love it.
Yay.
Oh, thank you guys so much for a year of listening. And until next time, we'll see you, Stitchers.
See ya, Stitchers.